Okay, look, we said it last video. We'll say it again. Don't say it. Don't say what you think I'm going to say. It's not time yet, but a huge, huge win for the North Carolina Tar Heels last night in Tallahassee. Welcome back to the 5 Takeaways, a show about Carolina basketball. This is it, people. This is it. Carolina wins by a score of 77-66 against Florida State. That was the most important game of the season and also the least important game that the Tar Heels will play for the rest of the season. Just going to kick things off. I have so many boxes. It was really a tale of two halves today or yesterday. First half, awesome. Second half, hard in your mouth. Not what I wanted to see, but first box today is going to be the third blue box of the season. Second blue box game in a row. Blue box for Leaky Black. People. I know he's been there for 5 years, but what he has been showing down the stretch this season is what we have been pining for as fans for his entire 5-year career. The defense has always been there, the situational awareness, the fact that he can bring the ball up the floor, but he's also, however tall he is, 6'7", 6'8", 6'9", that seems to be up for debate these days. He's got all these tools in his bag, but then the scoring was whatever, and people would let him shoot and not go out to guard him and clog the paint, and then that clogs up Armando, and you had to have floor spacers, but you also had to have Leaky on the floor. But yesterday was just perfect. I think he finished with 18 points. He had a couple threes in the first half and then a big one in the second half. And then, ladies and gentlemen, the reason he got the blue box, although I had already given him a blue box by the time halftime rolled around, he catches the ball late in the game. We're going to talk about the second half collapse here in a bit. But he catches the ball, pump fakes a three, and people are biting on these threes. That's how much... That should tell you, right, what's been going on with his three-point shooting. That people are respecting him so much, not only to just close out, but to actually jump up and try and block his shot. People are respecting him so much. Pump fakes three, guy flies by. There's still 3 people swarming in the paint. I mean, can we talk about how Florida State has had to have the tallest average roster of the past 5 to 7 years in college basketball? I mean, they just draft or they recruit 7'4" small forwards. I don't understand it. How are they always so tall? Doesn't matter for Leaky. Drives in, absolute tomahawk. Yeah, man, that got me pumped up. I mean, we're only up like 4 at the time. That pushes it to 6. It was still a 2-possession game. RJ Davis came down and had a tough jumper, and we squeaked out of there with a win. But just blue box for Leaky. You could see when he got off the rim after swinging, the rim was still shaking. Everyone was, what is going on? Really big dunk. I think it's the biggest dunk of his career by far. It's the biggest dunk of the Carolina basketball season. It's a memorable, historic dunk for Carolina basketball in general. It's one of those dunks that are worth so much more than 2 points. Blue box for Leaky Black. Throw a couple more boxes at you here real quick. I thought another green for Pete Nance. All year it's been Brady Pete. Now the last 2 games, Pete's been playing excellent. Pete has helped us win must-win games at home against Virginia and on the road against Florida State. Someone show me the statistics of Brady Manick last year between the months of November and February. Because I seem to remember we were also on the bubble last year, and we also lost games we probably didn't think we would lose last year. And everyone has this picture of Brady in their mind as, just some Steph Curry savant from 3 who also had the mentality and the fire to get it done on the court whenever we needed it. Like, who's to say Pete's not about to do that, right? An interesting thing about college basketball, you really only have to be good for like 8 games. And if you pick the right 8 games to be good at the end of the season, people remember you as a legend. So green for Pete Nance. He could really become something special for us here. Just more green boxes. They're mainly from the first half. I thought our assists were great. Green box for that. Dontrez Styles comes in because Armando's in foul trouble and then Puff's in foul trouble. And he does have a turnover. He seems to fall over and turn the ball over every game, but also hits a nice open 3 and just got some more minutes, maybe got a little bit more comfortable out there. So that was good to see. A green box, honestly, for a trap game, although we didn't handle it as well as it looked like we were going to handle it in the first half. But I tell you what, sandwiched in between 2 big Saturday primetime games against Virginia and Duke to come out here to a 9-20 Florida State, where if you lose, you're out. But if you win, it doesn't really change anything. And they're coming off a huge rivalry win, a big comeback. They don't care what the score is until the game's over. Just such a big win. I don't even think you understand truly how big that win is. So green box for avoiding the trap. Yeah, we can talk about the second half a little bit. It was a red box for the second half. I'm going to have way more than 5 boxes. We're getting into crunch time for this season. Red box for the second half in general. It just felt like our game plan was hold the ball until like 8 seconds to go in the shot clock and then try and make something happen. Like we were killing the game off, trying to waste time, and I did not like that, because what happens is you rarely get a good look, a good shot when you do that, and then you're not scoring, and then they're coming down in a transition because we missed and getting an easy layup or, a good look, and they're making it, and boom, it's a 9-0 run, and now what was an 18-point lead is 13, and now it's 9, and now it's 6, and it just kind of builds on you and the momentum and the crowd, and I didn't think we handled our offensive possessions very well in the second half. Also thought we had way too many turnovers yesterday. Of course, Armando didn't really get into the game with foul trouble, and then he was just sitting. You could give maybe a yellow for that, but I'm not. I'm actually going to give a red for the 2 big lineup, Armando and Pete. I mean, that's kind of what we were using when things weren't working, and I know they were both playing for large stretches in the Virginia game, but here today against Florida State, it really seemed to work to have Armando out, Pete behind the arc, even as our biggest man, and spread out those long guys from Florida State. So I don't know about the two big man system. Yeah, so second half, I guess just offensively, it didn't look good, and it just mentality didn't look good, and you felt like, oh my goodness, don't tell me after that first half we're still going to find a way to collapse. But fortunately we didn't. So I guess we can wrap this up by saying a red box for the fact that the season didn't just start last Wednesday, because we're 3-0 since then. We've been shooting great since then. We've had a good vibe about the team, good mentality, bench mob, dancing around, dunks, threes. We just look good. We look like a team we thought we could look like this year, and it's the exact time of the year for them to look like that. So hopefully it's not too little too late. Obviously, we've got Duke on Saturday. Huge game. Senior night for Armando and Leaky, and I guess Pete Nance. More than that, and more than the rivalry, it's, if you win that, you've really kind of finished strong and maybe moved yourself into the last 4-in area, and then we'll try and go on a run in the ACC tournament next week. But I'll end this video by saying the game announcers on ESPN last night, Caleb Love hit a 3 in the first half when we couldn't really miss. Caleb and RJ had 27 combined in the first half. I think they beat Florida State scoring-wise just from their points alone. And someone behind the broadcast booth said, "Oh no," in the Florida State fan section. So, oh no. I mean, again, we're not saying it. But people are starting to say, oh no. Good win. Good avoiding of the trap game. Come on. Got to beat Duke on Saturday. Go Heels.